Hello everybody, my name is Andrea Noriega and I'm going to talk about a little of the economic study about Argentina. The official name of this country is the Argentine Republic. The location it is a southern country of the South America located in the extreme south and southwest of said subcontinent. The population of this country is around of 43 billions of people, and the geography territory extends north to south is around 4,000 of kilometers, and the west to east is around 1,000 kilometers. It limits with Uruguay, Brazil, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Chile. Let's talk about a little of the culture. The culture of Argentina is marked by the multifaceted and cultural characters of its population, the strong singularities of its form of expression, and the positive aspects of programs and modernity in which many ethnic identities and sense of belong to European and Latin American cultures with some Asian and African contributions. The historical economic facts. Argentina's economy, which is one of the more powerful in the region, is dependent on service and manufacturing throughout agribusiness and ranching dominate the economy for much of the 19th and 20th centuries. Then, in the early decades of the 20th century, Argentina became the world's leading exporter of corn, flax, and meat. However, the Great Depression in the 1930s considerably diminished the Argentine economy by reducing foreign trade. In response to the Great Depression, successive governments from the 1930s and the 70s pursued a strategy of import substitution designed to transform Argentina in a country self-sufficient in industry as well as agriculture. Then the fruits, the vegetables, oilseeds crops such as soybeans and sunflowers, and industrial crops such as sugarcane and cotton increased the share of total agriculture production at the expense of the dominant grain crops. By 1916, manufacturing contributed more than the country wealth that did agriculture. By mine, in 1970s, Argentina was producing most of its oil, steel, and automobiles, and was also exporting a number of manufactured products. Manufacturing became the largest single component of the gross domestic product. Let's talk about the economic indicators. About the GDP growth rate, Argentina's GDP expanded 1.5% on quarters in the last 3 months of 2021, easing from a downwardly revised over 4% advance in the previous period. The GDP constant price in Argentina increased to over 6 billion in the fourth quarter of 2021. From agriculture in Argentina increased to more than 30 millions for the quarter in 2021 too. The from construction it decreased to over 20 millions in the fourth quarter in 2021. About the manufacturing, the GDP increased to over 120 millions in the fourth quarter in 2021. About the meaning, the GDP increased to over 20 millions in 2021. About the interest rate, the Central Bank of Argentina raises its liquid interest rate by 300 bps to 52% from 49% on June 16th, the sixth hikes this year, after data shows strong inflationary pressures persisted. The inflation rate, the annual inflation rate in Argentina accelerated for the fourth straight month to hit over 60% in May of 2022 from 58%. The employment rate in Argentina increased over 40% in the fourth quarter of 2021 from 42%. The employment rate in Argentina fell to 7% in the fourth quarter of 2021. The government debt to GDP in Argentina recorded a government rate of 80.50% of the country's gross domestic product in 2021. The balance of trade in Argentina trade surplus narrowed slightly to over 1,000 millions in April of 2022 from 1,014 millions in the corresponding month of the previous year. The current account to GDP in Argentina recorded about a surplus of 1% of the country's gross domestic product. Let's talk about the analysis about the commercial relationship between Mexico and Argentina. The foreign relations that must be considered as first and most important are those that unite us with the new republic of our continent. The parities in circumstance, the qualities of interest, and the cause that they all defend by maintaining their independence and freedom mean that we must consider ourselves rather and as a family of brothers than as foreign powers. This is the say by Lucas Aleman in 1813. The Mexico-Argentina bilateral relationship has always been based on fluid political dialogue, extensive economic exchange, depending cooperation, and firm cultural ties. The ties that unite Mexico and Argentina have their origin in the beginning of the independence like the of both countries. Argentina and Mexico have 132 years of a bilateral relationship marked by close historical, cultural and sociality ties between the people, with strong considerers in multilateral forums and important commercial flows that make both nations two strategic and central partners of the integration of Latin America. Both nations have signed a strategic partnership agreement signed on July 13, 2007, in the first since July 18, 2008, which governs the bilateral relations between Mexico and Argentina, and has made it possible to depend that like in the political, economic, commercial, cultural, and cooperation. There is a great potential for opportunities to promote a growth and development model oriented towards and welfare of the less favored sectors and an inclusive economy with social justice. The historical and cultural belonging of Mexico and Argentina as part of Latin America underscore the strategic relevance of the relationship between the two countries to continue promoting regional integration. Mexico represents a model in terms of democratic institutions, responsible management of the economy, promoted and developing bases of free trade, and commitment to global governance based on rules established by consensus. Thanks to this economic study, I have realized the advances and advantages that Argentina has as a country. It is concerned with economic, political, and social well-being. It is interesting in managing each electoral year, policies, and strategies of the government to continue restoring the national economic. Without a doubt, it is a model that Mexico should choose to follow and learn from. Thank you.